All right, let's get into it. Today, we're digging into one of the biggest, most important shifts you can make in your career. That jump from being a manager to becoming a true leader. And you know what? It all boils down to one thing: communication. We've got the blueprint right here for you.
So let me ask you this. Have you ever been at work and suddenly there's some huge change happening, but nobody, and I mean nobody, has explained what's going on? That feeling? That mix of confusion, anxiety, and frustration? Yeah, that's the cost of a communication breakdown. And that's exactly what we're here to talk about today.
Okay, first things first. We've got to understand this fundamental shift from just managing tasks to actually leading people. See, real leadership has very little to do with your job title or the authority you have. It's all about the influence you build. And that influence, it's forged in the fire of communication.
And this, right here, this says it all. A manager's communication. It's often about tasks, processes, control. It's a one-way street of instructions. It might get the job done, sure, but it's not going to inspire anyone. Leadership communication, though, that's a different world. It's about vision, people, and creating a dialogue. One directs traffic, the other shows people the destination and inspires them to find the best way to get there.
Here's where it gets really practical. A manager might say, "Hey, I need that report by Friday." Simple enough. But a leader says something like this. They provide the why. They connect that seemingly small task to the bigger picture. And just like that, a chore becomes a contribution. That's a game changer. So how do you actually do that? Well, it all comes down to building these core skills. And listen, these aren't just corporate buzzwords to stick on a poster. These are the actual tools in your leadership toolkit. From being crystal clear about the mission to really listening to your team, this is the stuff that builds the trust and alignment you need to lead. Okay, so you're building influence, right? But with great influence comes great responsibility. This brings us to a leader's moral compass. It's not just about what you say or how you say it. It's about being ethical, especially when the pressure is on.
And at the heart of leadership ethics, you'll find these ethical dilemmas. We're talking about those messy, gray areas, the tough calls where there's no easy, clean answer. This is where your character as a leader is truly revealed. Not when things are going great, but when the right path is the hardest one to walk.
Let's make this real. Imagine this lands on your desk. Your absolute top performer, a real star, falsified a report to cut a corner. So, what do? Do you report them, uphold integrity, but probably lose a key player? Or do you let it slide to protect performance, knowing you're compromising the integrity of the whole team? Yeah, there's no easy answer here.
So when you're in a situation like that, a real minefield, how do you even begin to navigate it? You can't just wing it. You need a framework. So let's look at a practical, step-by-step guide that can help you make a sound, ethical decision when you're truly caught between a rock and a hard place.
Think of this framework as a checklist for your conscience. It slows you down. It forces you to get out of that initial gut reaction and think critically. What's the real problem here? What are the hard facts? And who is going to be affected by this? It's about moving from a reactive feeling to a reasoned, principled decision.
All right, we've talked about communication style, we've talked about an ethical foundation. Now let's put it all together and throw it into the fire. This is the ultimate leadership test, guiding your team through the anxiety and total uncertainty of a major organizational change.
Think about it. During any big shakeup, a reorg, a new system, a merger, there is one single burning question that is on literally everyone's mind. And your ability to answer this one question will make or break your success.
And there it is. Now, this might sound selfish, but it's not. It is fundamentally human. People need to understand how change is going to affect them, their job, their future. As a leader, your job is not to judge that question, but to answer it clearly, honestly, and with empathy.
So, to answer that big "what's in it for me" question, your communication has to hit these 4 points for every single person. Be direct, tell them what's changing and why it's happening now, and then most importantly, connect it to their world. What does this mean for you, and what do I need you to do? That kind of clarity is what cuts through the fear.
Okay, let's wrap this all up and put it into a final blueprint for you. We've gone from the very basics of communication all the way to leading through massive change. Let's lock in the most important takeaways from this journey.
Just look at this data. It's staggering. 80%. The number one reason big changes at companies fail is because of poor communication. And look at the next 2 reasons: resistance and lack of trust. Where do you think those come from? They are the direct result of that first failure.
It all comes back to how you communicate.
And if you remember just one single thing from our conversation today, please let it be this. People are way more adaptable than we give them credit for. What they can't stand is being in the dark. They resist confusion. Your job as a leader is simple. Replace that confusion with clarity.
So, I'll leave you with this question to think about. Leadership isn't a destination. It's a skill you practice every single day. So what's the one thing you can work on this week? Maybe it's listening more actively, or maybe it's just providing a little more why. Whatever it is, take that one small step on your journey from manager to leader.